Imagine you're standing outside a bank. Inside, a man with a weapon is holding 3 people hostage. The phone rings. You pick it up. If you compromise, if you meet him in the middle, a hostage dies. You'd never compromise in a hostage situation. So why do you do it every single day when negotiating your salary, buying a house, or dealing with your kids? That is the core premise of Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, the FBI's former lead international kidnapping negotiator. For decades, traditional negotiation taught us that getting to yes and finding a win-win compromise was the ultimate goal. Voss argues that compromise is just an easy way out that leaves both sides unhappy. Today, we are breaking down the psychological frameworks used by the FBI to de-escalate terrorists, and how you can use these exact same tools to navigate the high-stakes negotiations in your everyday life. Let's start with the foundation: tactical empathy. Empathy is not about being nice or agreeing with the other person. It is about deeply understanding their worldview and their underlying emotions, and then vocalizing that understanding. Look at Bob and Alice. Bob is a traditional negotiator. When a client says his agency's fee is too high, Bob gets defensive and starts justifying his value with logic and ROI spreadsheets. The client shuts down. Alice uses tactical empathy. When her client says the fee is too high, Alice doesn't argue. She says, "It sounds like you're under a lot of pressure from your board to cut costs this quarter." By identifying the underlying emotion, Alice de-escalates the client's defense mechanism. When you name the fear, it loses its power. If you enjoy learning practical psychological frameworks like this, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more deep insights that you can actually use. How do you actually execute tactical empathy? You use 2 tools: mirrors and labels. Mirroring is a Jedi mind trick where you simply repeat the last 3 words of what someone just said using an inquisitive tone. Boss, I need this report done by tonight. You, by tonight? Boss, yes. The client is flying in early tomorrow and wants an update. You, wants an update? Boss, yeah, they are worried about the Q3 numbers. Notice what happened? You didn't argue. By mirroring, you force the other person to elaborate and reveal their true underlying problem, the Q3 numbers. Next are labels. This is when you validate their emotion by starting a sentence with, "It seems like," or "It sounds like." Never use "I hear that," because I gets people's guard up. It makes it about you. "It seems like you are frustrated with this deadline," makes them feel heard. When people feel heard, they stop fighting and start collaborating. We've been conditioned to believe that yes is the goal, but Voss explains that yes is often a trap. How many times have you said yes to a salesperson just to get them to go away? That's a counterfeit yes. No is actually the start of the negotiation. Saying no makes the speaker feel safe, secure, and in control. Voss advises intentionally triggering a no to get negotiations moving. If a client is ghosting you, don't send the standard, "Just following up on our last email." Instead, send a 1-sentence email. "Have you given up on this project?" This triggers their instinct to say no and protect their reputation. They will almost immediately reply, "No, we haven't given up, we've just been swamped with X." You gave them the safety of no, and in return they gave you the truth. The secret to gaining the upper hand is giving the other side the illusion of control. You do this through calibrated questions that start with how or what. Avoid why questions, as why implies judgment and makes people defensive. Imagine your landlord wants to raise your rent by $500. A terrible response is, "Why are you raising it so much? I can't afford that." A calibrated response is, "What is the core issue we are trying to solve here?" Or Voss's favorite question of all time, "How am I supposed to do that?" Spoken calmly, "How am I supposed to do that?" is a masterstroke. It forces the landlord to look at the problem from your perspective. You are asking them for help to solve your problem. Often, they will negotiate against themselves to find a solution for you. Ideas mean nothing without application. Here's your homework for the next 24 hours. The next time you find yourself in a disagreement, whether it's with a partner or a vendor, do not make an argument. Instead, use 1 mirror and 1 label. Repeat their last 3 words back to them and then say, "It sounds like this is really important to you." Watch how quickly the tension evaporates and the actual problem reveals itself. The deeper lesson of Never Split: the difference is that human beings are deeply irrational, emotional creatures. We like to think we are driven by logic, but we are actually driven by deeply rooted fears of loss and desires for autonomy. Negotiation isn't a battle where one side wins and the other loses. It is a psychological discovery process. It's about building a bridge of empathy so strong that the other person willingly walks across it. To recap, ditch the compromise. Use tactical empathy to understand their fears. Use mirrors and labels to make them feel heard. Push for no to give them safety, and use how am I supposed to do that to give them the illusion of control. Which of these ideas surprised you the most? Are you going to try the magical email trick on someone ghosting you? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to master these techniques, I highly recommend reading the book. The affiliate link is in the description. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep insights. See you in the next one.